Morning. I'll quickly go through the Advents this morning. This is the one from Hook and Cutch, Easter Island. Starting to see how the fades might take effect now. This one's from the Yarn Whisperer, Golden Sands. Nice pale, almost neutral one. This was the extra number 6 little notebook that was in the Hook and Cutch Advent. I got the matching conditioner that went with the shampoo from yesterday from Beauty One, and this morning's stitch marker, a cute, almost like Hello Kitty type cat from Mrs. G Stitch Markers. Right, okay, so off out for a run. I'm going to do a training run. I'm going to do some hills today. So hills, just like hill intervals, so not running up a hill continuously, but 1 minute up, 1 minute down, and I'll probably do that 5 times, then have a minute's breather and then do it again. And hills really sort of build up your muscles, your mover muscles, so that you're stronger basically. As Tommy Rivs, one of my favourite iFit trainers, says, hills are speed in disguise because they build up the muscles that make you go faster. So I'm going to start with a 10-minute warm-up. I'm just going to have a little jog around the park, and then I'll go to the hill that I use for my hill intervals, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Okay, that's my first interval set done. 5 minutes up, 5 minutes down, and I'm just having my 1 minute recovery till I do my next set. I'm just going to show you the hill that I'm using. I'm not sure these ever look quite as steep in real life as they actually are, but I'll show you anyway. Yeah, it really doesn't look that steep. It's reasonably steep when you're running up it. So yeah, 1 minute recovery, and then I do another set of 5 minutes up, 5 minutes down, and then a cool down. And I don't jeff when I do these training runs, by the way. These training runs are continuous running to build up my strength. Oh, and we're off. So I'm just back, as you can see. This is what we call a sweaty selfie. Yeah, training runs tend to be quite intense for a shorter amount of time. So for example, that run I was only out for 40 minutes, and I did slightly under 3 miles. So it's not a fast pace on that particular run. There's other runs where you do go at a fast pace, but that particular run's not. But it's all about working the muscles, building up the muscle strength. So I'm back. I'm going to get a shower and then and a coffee, and I'll be back later. Oh, I was just going to sort of point out these headphones. I'll take them off actually, so you can see what they are. So these are bone conductor headphones. These are actually proper shocks. Now, when I started running, I didn't use music at all, and in actual fact, when you're learning to do your slow-paced longer runs, it's better to not use music, because there's a tendency when you're listening to music to try and match the beat, and it can make you go a bit too fast, because the long slow runs are supposed to be exactly that, very steady, a steady heartbeat, not getting out of breath. You should be able to hold a conversation if you're running with somebody. Not that I can never hold a conversation, but you are. That's the theory anyway. So when you're learning to do long, slow runs, you shouldn't really listen to music. Maybe listen to a podcast if you want to listen to something. But actually, I used to do my runs with nothing at all. And then when I was doing the virtual London Marathon, I found out there was an app where all along your distance, you can listen to them giving you motivational speech. It's like different athletes and commentators every half a mile will say something to you to keep you going, and you can hear crowd noises, and if you would have been passing a landmark, they'll tell you. So there's all things like that I knew that happened on the app if you had headphones. So I thought, oh, right, okay, so I had better actually start listening to some stuff while I'm out running and training. So when I did some research into the best headphones, because I can't run with AirPods because they fall out of my ears. I can sit still and they fall out of my ears. And obviously on-ear headphones are incredibly uncomfortable if you're running, because they're pressure, they're warm. So when I started to do some research into headphones, shocks or bone conductor headphones are approved by most races because they don't go in your ear, they sit on your ear, and so you can still hear all the surrounding noise. So if you were to be given an instruction by a marshal, or if there's traffic noise or anything like that, you can still hear it. They don't cancel noise out, and that's why they're allowed in races. So that's what I ended up getting. And now I do actually run with music as well. Even when I'm doing a long, slow run, I'll still run with music because I've now taught myself not to run with the beat of the music. So I can safely run with music. In fact, I sometimes have a little dance while I'm running along as well. So anyway, more later. So I'm doing a bit of Christmas prep. I'm making some mincemeat, and then I'm going to make some mince pies later. So I'm making the breadcrumbs now for the bread sauce. I've all the milk's steeping, is that the word, with the onion and cloves, and I'll be adding the breadcrumbs and some butter to that to turn it into a sauce. Now I'm doing some custard using cream, egg yolks and vanilla. This is, on Christmas Eve I make a raspberry and banana trifle for dessert, and this is the custard that goes into that trifle. Obviously I'm freezing all of these things. I'm kind of guessing you'd work that bit out, that this is just prep and it all goes in the freezer ready for the Christmas when I get it out and use it. And finally, the rum sauce. I always have to make industrial quantities of rum sauce because everybody seems to love it with the Christmas pudding. So that's the rum sauce, the bread sauce and the trifle custard. And to make sure I don't get them muddled up on the day, I actually label the box lids. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Esther. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Hooray! And so that's the end of another vlog. Thanks once again for watching, and back again tomorrow.